Dracula.
History exiled you from castles and crypts long ago. In this new century, you are wanderers, searching endlessly for a new home, new servants, and fresh, fevered blood. Master of the Night is a cooperative game from 1 to 5 people playing together as members of a vampire clan just arrived in an unfamiliar new city, slowly regaining in former power. Yes, today we are looking at Masters of the Night, a vampire-based game in which you will be playing a number of vampires taking over a city, trying to fight off the agents of the Inquisition. Your enemies are searching for you as you try to influence the city. I never would make it as a vampire. But we're going to go down to the table and take a look at this game as the fear grips the streets of our city and vampires are real. So here we are, down, ready to unbox, as we always do in our games. We unbox, we set up, we show components, and we play the game. This is for 1 to 5 vampires. It is a cooperative challenge. It is a game by Nikolai Aslavov. And I'm sorry, Nikolai, if I ruined your name. Here is the back of the box. It is for 13 and up, 45 minutes, 1 to 5 players. And you can see lots of red and blood. Bwahaha. So let's take a look and see if we can actually open this box. There it is. We pre-started it because I just would be fumbling forever with these shrink wrap. Now I haven't taken this off, so I've got this game for a while, but I played Black Sonata a few moments ago, and I am kind of ready for more solo challenges here. So this is Master of the Night. Whoops, missed some more. My wife yells at me because the shrink wrap goes in my pocket and I forget to take it out. Box is quite nice. Actually, I like the finish of it, and I love the art. It's of the old noir kind of, and of course the red rose. So you can bring out the reds, and everything else is kind of a black and white. So we have a catalog. I don't think I have many Ares games. Blood Wars, Hunt the Ring. No, I don't think I have any other ones. So this is my first game from Ares Games. We'll just throw that off to the side. We have, well, that's interesting. We put the rules in with the counters. So I can't even show you the rules. But it looks like we have our vampires. We have our counters on the back. And I'll show you that a little bit deeper. So I'm not going to go crazy and unbox everything here. Look at that. We got little miniatures, which are great. We got spots, individual spots. So we have a nice little insert for our counters. We have our dice. We have our deck of cards, and plenty of room for sleeves. Very, very nice insert. This was not an expensive game either. So we've got miniatures. So, you know, I look back and look at like FFG and things like that, and I go, you know, FFG would give me a game like this and charge me $60 for it, and it'd be an empty box with a bunch of components in it. This one has a nice storage solution, nice finishes. Looks like we have some location cards. Again, more places to store things. I'm not quite sure what goes in there yet. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this game, and we're going to take that apart a little later. But that was what's in the box very, very quickly. And we're going to get back to the playing and learning and sorting, and I'll show you how this goes. I love solo games. My collection is becoming more and more focused on solo games, and so I'm very excited to bring you Masters of the Night. So without further ado, let's get down to the table. Now you may see some quick changes through the video. Like I'm wearing, it's a little cool today, and I'm wearing a sweat top, but I'm typically got 4 and 5 projects going at the same time, and I don't wear the same clothes every day. At least that's what I tell my wife, and therefore you'll see my shirts change through that. So don't get nervous. Not that you're paying attention to me anyway. But anyway, without further ado, let's get down to the table and play Masters of the Night. So, as promised, I have taken this game away. I have organized it, put it back in the box, and it is sweet. Great job by Ares creating this game in terms of a storage solution. Everything fits in the box nicely, even the sleeved cards. That is amazing. I think that based on that, it is a good job. Now let's just take a look at what is in the box now that I've actually put it together. So you can see there's the same rules on top. On top, these are the player, sort of the timers. It keeps track of a few things. We will most likely be playing with 3 vampires, but we may play with 2. Here are the vampires on top. There are plenty of vampires. This is Istvan, Agnieszka, Nevena, Lazilo, Mila, and Emir. So we have lots of vampires to choose from. These are the location cards: the cathedral, the asylum, there's City Hall, the city park, the museum, nightclub, police department, radio station, railway station. That's where you start your game. As you can see right below, there are the sigils for each of the vampires, and that is part of the winning conditions, and we'll explain that once we start to play. There are the blood tokens. Each vampire gets 4 blood tokens to start. Here are the miniatures. Very nice, considering the game is only $42 and you get a suite of miniatures. I go to my LGS and a miniature there is $6 and $7. So there's some good value there. Now, there is the first player's tokens. There are the damage tokens. There is the token that you use on the veil. The veil determines on whether or not how many monsters come out, and if you totally come out of the veil, you will lose the game. There's your agents. There are your minions. There are your vampires. There are your dice. Here are the sleeved cards with no issues whatsoever other than taking them out of the box. And these are the various cards that you will use in the game. If I could get them all out one by one. There we are. And they are numbered basically, as you can see, 1s, 2s, and 3s. So they will get harder and harder, as you know, until you actually go through them. And then there is relics. And depending on the level of your vampire, you will get to select 1 or 2 relics, such as the Umbral Cape. When moving, you can spend -1 blood to move into any district. So that allows you to move across the city much faster. Pristine blood. You can have up to 6 blood. Blood is basically your vampire's health, and if he gets drained, he basically lays on the floor going like, I'm drained, I need energy, or blood is this case. And then he has to basically go through a night phase doing absolutely nothing, and then he gets 1 blood back, and then he stands back up. Though if he is in a district with a agent, the veil will go down. If you go down to 0, basically, you will lose the game. You get a golem. So there's a number of different things that you get here, and we're going to explore that. I just wanted to show you this marvelous way of storing the game. Everything fits in the box wonderfully. Kudos for that, because I appreciate games that just don't give you throw bags into the box and say, here you go, there's your storage solution. No, thank you. Quality of life, folks. That's what separates a game from a great game. So if you get a good, decent insert, you get a good quality of life, that separates a game that says, I can set this up quick, I can put it away quick, it's all organized, and that is that. So we are going to next put this up. We're going to talk about the game a little bit more. We're going to set it up. We're going to get ready to play, and hopefully we're going to show you all the things that we need to do in order to become the masters of the night. Or will the Inquisition's agents basically catch up with us and the city will be safe from the vampires? So we have the board partially set up. We are going to play with 3 vampires today, and so we will be using this particular board, and this is our Veil tracker, and we're going to start at 6. And you can see there's two sides, a lighter side and a darker side. So this is going to tell us how many agents are going to come on board each turn that we pull a event card or an agent card. You can see 3 vampires stalk the streets. 11 agents appear throughout the city. So we'll just put this up here where you can see it. And we'll start on the 6th. Now the railway station always is in the top left corner. And because we're playing with 3 players, we're actually going to play with 1 minion. If we were 2, we'd have 2 minions. If we had 4, we'd have 1 minion. We have the asylum and radio station, the police department, nightclub, museum, city park, city hall, and the cathedral. Each one has a different effect on the vampires or the agents, depending on whether you're in the day or the night phase. We have selected 6 dice. So in order to start this, what we're going to do is we're going to roll our 6 dice. And I'll just pull my little handy 6 dice. I'm going to roll them. 6, 6, 2, 2, 3. And we're going to put them beside the board. 6, 6, 2, 2, 3. This is very important because dice are what you use in fights. So in a day cycle, we would always have to select from the low end, which would be a 2. In a night cycle, we would collect from the high end, which is 6. So that was a really good roll. And we don't roll these dice again until all the dice are drafted basically during the phase. But this is a really good start. Then what we do is we'll take each one of the events, and there are 3 eras or three levels. And we're going to have, so we're going to actually remove the top 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll just put that off to the side. They'll go back into the box. Not off to the side, but back into the box for later. And then we will shuffle up our level 2s. And we'll explain how this works as we pull them. This is just an overview of the setup and a little bit of the rules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This makes this game variable, a lot more replayable due to the fact that we don't know what's coming up, and every game will be a little bit different. Again, we'll remove 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 30 cards to go through. If we go through all 30 cards without winning the game, guess what? We lose the game. If the Veil Tracker ever gets down to this mark, 0, we lose the game. Now you may be saying, Harry, how do you win the game? So when we're looking at a player board, and let's just pull up Milo here. First of all, we're going to have to get up to our 9 kills. So for each kill, we're going to unlock different powers, and then we're going to explain those powers as we go along. On the 9th power, she'll be allowed to, or 9th kill, I should say, she'll be able to use her sigil. And to play the sigil, what she'll need to do is to have a minion with her and sacrifice the minion to put a sigil in a district. Once that sigil's in the district, then they get a further special power. It says, when recruiting a minion in the district, vampires spend 1 AP instead of 2. If we look at the board, recruiting a minion is 2 AP, but the advantage is you're going to get +1 on the Veil. This Veil is going to go up and down as the game progresses, and we want to keep this balanced fairly well so that we're not fighting that as well as all the minions and the agents as we go. But that's basically the first winning condition. Then the next winning condition is when each one of the vampires has put each of their sigils down, all the vampires will go into a district. There can be no agents in that district when I put the sigil down or when I do the summoning. So I have to have them all in the same place, just as you look like here, except we're going to have one each of minions. We will sacrifice all the minions, and we will become the winner of the game by performing, I should say, the Blood Moon Ritual. So There is a lot to be done here, and we will be fighting agents as they come on every turn. And there are two sides to the agent. This is the concealed side. They are lurking in the shadows, watching for us. And then the the exposed side. When they're exposed, we can attack them. When there are three agents, whether or not they are exposed or not, and I move my vampire into that, or there is a vampire, they will, during a day phase, they will attack our vampire. And the vampire will have to take the lowest dice. In this case, it would be a 2, and on a 1 and 2, I only lose a blood tier, or a blood drop. When I lose all 4 blood drops, I'm going to fall exhausted. If ever an agent comes on when I have an unexhausted vampire like that, he'll come on. The veil will go down. If there's a minion and we put an agent down, the veil will go down. So we're going to have to manage a ton of different effects going on here. Each one of these boards or locations will have generally have 1 or 2 things you can do. In the case of the railway station, if we have more minions than agents, we will be allowed to manipulate one of these dice up to. However, if there are more agents than minions, we will have to take a highest dice and manipulate it down by 2. So we have the veil to worry about, we have our dice to worry about. Now, there are some great areas in here that will really help us in our fight with the Inquisition and their agents. And we're just going to have to see how that goes. To indicate a day turn and a night turn, you can see there is a first player marker and a night side and a day side. And this will move through each player. So the first player, then it's going to get turned, and then we're going to move it over to Laszlo, then we're going to move it to Agnieszka. And each one of them have their own special abilities that gets triggered by a tier of blood. And they can spend up to 2 action points per turn. So there we go. We are ready to play. This is the setup. A little bit of the rules, and then we're going to go through more and more of the rules as we go. We're going to start off nice and slow as we go, and then we're going to pick up speed. I'm going to try to pick up speed as we go, as we become more familiar with the rules. We're not going to spend as much time explaining. And then this game is probably less than an hour, where I might try to speed it up because I'd really like to show you a full game. I didn't mention the museum. I should mention the museum before we start. The museum has relics that each of the vampires can use. Now, in order for a vampire to use a relic, they have to have at least 2 kills and have at least a minion here. At the start of the day, if there are a minion stationed, more minions than agents in this district, draw 1 relic card. So it's going to be important to control the agents. Now, one of the things with the agents is, if we go through this stack of agents, which hopefully we don't, for every time we want to put an agent on the board, the veil is going to go down. So pretty much, if all the agents are on the board, we're going to lose very, very quickly. So we're really going to have to control what goes on in this board. Let's get to it. Whew. There is a lot going on here, and whether or not the vampires will be able to have the city to themselves for years to come to feed, or whether the Inquisition's agents will be able to stop and thwart their activities, we're going to just have to find out through the playing of this game, and hopefully you're going to enjoy it. This is a solo-only game, and you know how I feel about solo-only games. I'm really into solo-only games. I've been a solo board game player for years. So let's get to it. our vampires have landed on the railway station, and this is the first day turn. We will look at any effects that trigger in any of the locations, only the railway station, which allows us to manipulate a dice up, and we're going to manipulate this dice up to a 4. That is the day phase. Then we draw an event. The first event, follow the signs. Now, if you look at our Veil tracker, the red X, which is the asylum, is going to get 2 agents. And then I can choose either the nightclub or City Hall. I think we're going to choose the nightclub for now because I think they'll be easier to control the middle. And then it says, follow the signs. Add an agent to the police station, which is not very good for us. We have a ton of agents. Wow. But it is Mila's first turn. And Mila is going to move. Now she's going to take the minion with her. And expose one of our agents. That is her 2 points. You only have 2 points to spend. Next is Laszlo. He is going to move over to here and get rid of the 1 agent for another AP. He has to use his dice. For now, he is going to use a 6. That is his 2 moves. He moved and he got rid of that. Next is Agnieszka. She's going to go 1. I don't think she's going to expose this one. She's going to come down to 2 with hopes that we can control the center. So it's a little risky having 2 vampires up here, up in the same spot, because we really want to spread out a little bit to control the board. But that is all we're going to do this turn. This turn, we come back to the daytime phase, which will go to Laszlo as the start. We can't trigger this. We can't trigger this because we have a wash, we have a minion, and a agent. This is a daytime effect that affects only minions, and this is a nighttime effect that doesn't affect anything. Nobody else has anything on the board. We will then take another event, and you can see right away we have an X, which means 2 agents here. Now we have to do the police or the museum. That's a difficult one. I might want to keep the museum clear for now, and we're going to put them on the police department because we're not particularly worried about the police department at this point. Now, what we don't see is the battle. Now, one of the things that we have to do is battle, and actually he should be up on 1 because he killed that last one. So every time you kill a agent, you go up on the kill track, and this is how we unlock new powers. In this case, it's Hunt 1, which means that'll allow him to hunt and gain a blood back. Because now that we're at the end, first is the fight. We're going to choose which vampire. Actually, it's only the second day phase. That's right. So he's going to use a blood token. He's going to recruit a 4, turn it into a 5. Or he has to recruit the lowest one. So he doesn't have to use a blood token because he has a 3. So he's going to take the 3, and he's going to have to lose a blood token because that's how the fights go. And a 3 or a 4, we lose a blood token. And all the agents are exposed now, which is a good thing for us. They have just opened themselves for a world of hurt. Now, the only thing that we have to say here is that because we have put a agent into the asylum, we'd go down on the Veil tracker. So every time goes in with a minion or a non-drained vampire, we're going to put him up on the tracker. Whew. Now we are back to Laszlo. So his special ability, though, he's going to off one of the vampires here for 1. And he's fine right here at the moment. And then he's going to expose. He's actually going to do the same thing again. He's not going to use a blood token this time. He's going to use so he had to draft a 6. He's going to use another blood token. Turn the 4 to a 5. And off another one. So he is now into he has killed 3 monsters in the first 2 turns of the game. Agnesia, I'd like to get her to the museum because now that we have at least one person who can have a relic, but we need a minion there. So the first thing I think she's going to do is she's going to expose and move. Just like that. That is the end of the turn. She will be the first player turn after the next day turn. The first thing we do is, do we have more minions anywhere that affects anything? No, we don't. We have a wash here. Nobody's in the railway station. So we just go move on to the event, which is Blighted Cathesis. So we're going to put 2 here, which is not good for us because we really want to get to that museum. The radio station or the cathedral? Well, I think we'll put the radio station here. And put an agent into the nightclub. Because, as you can see, we have we put somebody into the nightclub. We actually have to decrease the veil at the end of this round. There is no daytime fights. That means the veil is going to go down. You can see how quickly that veil went down. There are ways of getting the veil up. You can use the city. You can recruit, which we might want to do. But for now, the first thing that we want to do is, I'd like to kill this agent up here. I think this sounds good. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that action. We're going to do a recruit action. So we're going to get a minion up here. That takes his entire action, pushes him up to 5 in the veil. Then that is his entire turn because it takes 2 to recruit. And then we're going to move. We're going to remove fight for 1. So Marla's going to kill and be able to go hunt. And removes that agent. And she's going to take one of the minions with her into the center. This is kind of risky now because we've got some build-ups here. We are back to Mila's turn as the first player. We have to look for effects. We can actually use the asylum effect, which allows us to bring somebody over exposed. And so we're going to take this museum and we're going to move it over to here. We don't have a minion here. This is a nighttime effect. We don't have any minions here. And this only affects vampires if they're there on a nighttime phase. So we are going to pick Leap of Faith. We're going to wind up with 2 agents here. Oh, we'll put them upside, put them in the right. Oh, and then, oh my God, I'm gonna put 1 here, but I have to discard the highest dice, which sucks. There are no fights, but I did manage to not put an agent in any of the spots where I already have agents. This is going to be a kind of a tough one to get through. But we will start with Mila. First thing she's going to do, she's going to use one of her blood droplets. Actually, I think she's going to kill. She needs to get a kill in to get a relic. So she's going to actually kill the exposed one for 4. She is going to lose a blood drop, but that's okay at this point. We are now used up all. That's her first turn. Her second turn, we may expose that guy, but let's just roll and see what our dice is for this turn. We have a 5, 3 4s, and 2 1s. That is not a great roll for us. So there could be a lot of damage being taken here. The next thing she's going to do is she's going to expose this for 1. That is her 2 actions. We come over to Laszlo. Laszlo is going to kill this one for 1. Again, he moves up to the Wild Hunt. So he's moving along very, very well. I think he's going to stay there and not move. So he's going to do a hunt. Only because he's going to stay there. So he's going to do his Wild Hunt for his second. Agnesia's turn. She'd like to get a minion here. But I think she's got to get rid of this one. She likes that idea. So she's just going to expose this for 1. and she's gonna grab the number 5 dice and get rid of that. She now has her first kill, which allows her to hunt. That is the end of the turn. We are back to Laszlo and the daytime. We have an effect here that allows us to bring over a agent to be exposed, which breaks that up. We have no minions anywhere else. This doesn't matter. So now we're going to draw our one silhouette in a crowd. So we're going to wind up with 2 in City Hall. This is really way more. And then we're going to put, if I put one here, I'm going to use either way, I'm going to lose a veil here. So we're going to put an agent here into the space. We're going to have to move up a veil at the end of the turn. It is now the end of the turn. There are no battles, so we will put the veil up. We are now into the nighttime phase. Laszlo is going to go first. He, of course, is going to kill this vampire. Gives him to Relic 2, actually. So he's done really, really well. That's his first one. Second one, he's just going to expose this one. That's his 2 turns. She's going to recruit a minion. So we can start maybe next turn drawing some relics. So that takes care of our 2. And we get to push this up 5 because part of the relic recruit action is to actually +1 on the veil. We don't want to slip this down into the veil. We're back to Mila. I don't want to put any more recruits on here. So I think what she's going to do is off this agent, which allows her to get down to the relics as well for her first. And we don't really need a minion there. There's lots of minions there. I think she's got to move down. She's got one move. I think we want to get back to that railway station to manipulate some of these dice. So she's going to take her up into the asylum for her second move. And that is the end of her turn. We are back now to the day phase. Agnesia is going to go first. We do have more minions than agents still in this particular spot. So we are going to trigger this minion. And we're going to bring one over to be exposed, which is really helpful. Then the second one is down here. Because we have a minion here, we can actually draw a relic. And we have drawn a golem. So it reads, anytime the golem during the night phase, you may place this relic in your district face up where it stays until the end of the game. After you resolve the event in the day phase, if there is at least one exposed agent in this district, you may decrease the veil by 1 to remove all agents from this district. That doesn't affect your kill rate. That's pretty good, really. Okay, and as the leader, that she is the leader, she can give it who she wants. She's going to give it to... she can have it too. I think she likes it. So she says, I'm keeping that one for myself. We are now to the event phase, which is always fun. We're going to draw another event. We're going to get 2 in the police department. Oh my God, look at that. Either one up here, which we don't want, or one up here. Oh my gosh, we're losing control very, very quickly. Well, we have 2 vampires here, so even though I don't think we care about City Hall at the moment, so we'll put that City Hall here. We've managed to not, but we only have like 1 left, and then it'll start knocking our veil off, and this says add 1 agent into the asylum. So we wind up with 1 in the asylum anyway. As you know, that means the veil is going to go down at the end of the turn, but it also means that we are going to fight and be exposed. 3 and 3. The best thing that we're going to do is use Laszlo to take the hit. He's going to turn a 4 to 5. So at least it kills one of the agents. Because that's not good that he has all those agents on the board, we can start to lose very, very quickly. Because he kills an agent, he is up to his special ability, which is Celerity, which says if Laszlo is fighting a vampire in the day combat until the end of the combat phase, each selected die value is increased by 3, max 6. That is excellent. He is a great fighter, but he does lose a veil for that. So we're going to have to get our veil up for that. So we are now to the end of the phase. We are to Ignatius, who's going to go first. She's going to leave her minion here. And then she's going to use one of her special powers, which is our blood token, to move an agent into the nightclub. Only I want to do that because I want to start controlling, and this is just plain nasty. And this is the nighttime phase. So she's moved and used her special ability, and then she's going to expose for the second one. Special ability only uses blood, so she's exposed this guy, and so she's in for the kill. Next turn is Mila. Mila is going to kill the first one here. She's now onto her third kill, which gives us a little bit of breathing room. Then she's going to move over here. That is her turn. Laszlo is going to spend the dice, use his special ability for 1 to raise this dice to a 5 so he doesn't take a hit. He goes up, so he is almost there. He kills that agent for his first, and then he's going to go on a hunt, which allows him to actually, he could use a blood hunt, but he doesn't want to decrease the veil. So there we go. We replaced a blood. Whew. Wow. Now that is the end of the turn. The day marker goes back to Mila. The daytime phase. We are good here, which means I can actually manipulate a dice up. So we're going to take this 1 to a 3, which is good. Oh my God. That is that. We're going to come over here, and we're going to break up one of these guys, and we're going to put him exposed here. We have a minion here, so we're going to take another relic. Mila is the lead, so she can decide who gets it. It is the Pipe of the Trickster. Spend 1 AP and decrease veil by 1 to move 3 agents and or your minions from an adjacent district into your district. Expose all agents moved this way. That is decent because you really want, and she'll say I'll keep that. Because at the end of the game, you have to have all 3. So this is an excellent way of getting minions together into a single group. We are still quite a ways away from the end of the game. That is the end of the stuff that we can do here during the day phase. We are going to take the next marker, and we're going to put 2 here, and either 1 down here or 1 over here. I really don't want to put over here because I don't want to decrease the veil. You know what? I really don't care about City Hall that much. So we're going to do that. And it says, remove 1 minion from any district. Aye. Wow. I really want to stay on that museum. And we suck here. Well, we're going to lose this minion for now. That really didn't hurt. I have no agents left. That means that if we add more agents, if I don't kill 3 agents, I'm pretty much toast the next turn because we're going to start to decrease that veil very, very quickly. Huh. So, Mila's going to go first. She may have to go here to just turn a minion. The only reason I say that is she'll need her tier, but that's okay. So she's going to use her special ability. I don't want to really drain her. Wow, there's a big chance that I will get drained here. She's going to use her minion here, and she's going to move over to here. The reason why I'm going to do that is I'm hopefully using this special power to move one of these minions over to here. So she's moved 2. That's 2 AP. She is done. Laszlo's turn. First turn, he is going to take that minion off. He's got 8 kills. That is his first turn. We have no minions here, so I think he's going to move down into the center as well. For 3, now it's Agnesia's turn. She's going to use one of her power to move down to Relic 2 spot. And she's going to use one of her special powers to kill. First, she's going to kill that agent, and then she's going to drag another agent over here. And that is what she is going to do on her turn. That's a blood ability. So she does have a second, and she says, I'm going to expose him. Phew. Well, we got through, but I think this turn is going to be a turning point for us if we can't control some of these guys here. So you can see this game, how fast, with 3 players, I thought I can control this a little bit better, but I cannot. Hopefully this turn we can turn something. Daytime phase. We can manipulate one of the dice, so let's get a dice up to 3. Let's get a dice up to... Actually, we'll take the 4... Let's get to a 6. So we can maybe get a free kill out of this. And we might move somebody down to the city park. So that is there. Nothing happens there. Nothing happens there. Nothing happens there. Now we get another relic. The leader is Laszlo. He can decide who that is. Ceremonial Dagger. At the end of each night phase, you may either increase your death count by 1 or gain 1. Well, he's almost at 9. He says... let's give it to Agnesia. So she's got her 2. She can only have 1 relic. So we're going to have to give it to Milo. She's only got 3 kills at the moment. So that is good. So that's a good way of start pulling up that. So we've done that. We are now into the event. We're going to get 2 into the city park. All of them are gone. So we have 1 here or 1 there. I can't do it. The veil is going to go down 1. Remove 1 minion from any district. Add 1 exposed agent into any district. Add 1 exposed agent into any district. I can't put an agent down, so the veil is going to go down. And I have to remove a minion. Wow, okay. The museum for now is going to have to go. Wow. There are no fights. We didn't place any minions with it, but we are full and we are almost out of time here. The day marker really is with Agnesia. We need a way of killing them or controlling them. I could get minions on the board. Agnesia is going to, first thing she's going to do is actually going to use her blood tier, or one of her last blood tiers, to move a agent over here. And she's going to expose that. That is her turn. That's 2. Actually, she does moved it, exposed it, and actually she can kill 1 because that's 2 AP. So she's got 3 kills. We've come over to Mila. Oh, wow. This is going to be bad. This is bad. Mila is going to take the 3, I think. So Mila is going to take the 3. Mila is going to take the 6 for her first move and kill this agent. Then she's going to move, use 2 of the tiers, which is really risky move on my part, to convert one of these agents to a minion. We have some high-risk stuff going on now. Laszlo's turn. Wow, I think he might move to the city park. That's a risk here. If a minion goes here, we're going to really decrease that veil. I could stay here in the night move and use 2 AP to get his blood back. So that's what he's going to... so he's going to spend 2 AP. He's going to get all his blood back. He's going to increase himself to 9, which means he's going to have to get a minion, but he can get his signal down next turn, so we can maybe get a signal down. And then we're back to the day phase again, and it's Mila's turn. So we can manipulate the dice up. We're going to manipulate this one to a 3, I think. Because that's the only thing we can do here. We have nobody there, nobody there, nobody there, nobody there, nobody there that can affect. We are now going to take an event. Oh, what do we got here? 2 right here. Wow, at least we're going to get 2 on the Veil here. And 2 either in the department, which we don't want, or the museum. Well, we don't have anybody in the museum. We're going to put an agent there, but because I can't put a second agent in, the Veil goes down. Oh, we are almost out of this time. Almost out of time here. This is not going well for us. Mila's turn. Oof. I don't see how we can prevent anything from happening in the night phase here. Okay, I think we can maybe survive one more turn if we can. Mila's turn. She's going to spend... she can't tempt anybody. The only thing she can do is possibly expose and kill. That takes us down to 4, so the Wild Hunt, which we really can't use. Next is Laszlo's turn. He's full blood, so he's going to expose and kill an agent. But he does take a blood loss to that. Agnisia can't. Woof. She could try to mesmerize and bring one over to her, but that doesn't really help. I think pretty much that we are this is going to be our last turn, unfortunately. She can expose and kill. Well, maybe that's what she's going to do. She's going to expose and kill. So she's up to the Wild Hunt. Not really particularly helpful at this point. That is the end of the turn. It's daytime again. We can manipulate a dice, so that gives we can put this dice up to 5. Nothing happens anywhere else on the board. We don't have more minions than agents, which is unfortunate. We are now going to draw another level 1. We're going to put 2 in the railway, and they're exposed. Either 1 here or 1 here. We'll put it in the city park. We have to put 2 down, which means we're going to go down 1 more on the Veil. We have 1 more turn to solve this mystery. Anyway, Laszlo goes first. We've done our event. Oh, what was the last event here? Oh, I didn't read it. It said, add 1 agent into City Hall, which we already did. We don't have another agent to add into City Hall. That means the Veil is broken. Our vampires are killed, and that is the end of the game. So I didn't do particularly well in this game. So let's go up for some final thoughts and see how I thought about this game. This is a solo-only game, and it went really quick. I thought I would do better. Apparently, I'm not a good vampire. So let's go talk about final thoughts. Wow, Masters of the Night, what a ride. I really liked it. A great solo game for 1 to 5 vampires. I played a 3-handed game and I only lasted 8 rounds. I could not control, I thought I could control the vampire, the agent population. Obviously I could not. This was a lot of fun. It's a brain burner. You're trying to increase, you're trying to keep the agents. There is a lot going on for a little tiny game. Now, this is not a big game. I'd say it's a medium weight game. I wouldn't call it a light filler. Maybe a heavier lightweight game or a lightweight medium game, depending on which way you flip. It is a solo game only. So first, the components. I give the components a thumbs up. The board and cardboard bits are very, very nice. Nice thickness. The cards are a nice thickness and nice feel, even though they're sleeved. So component-wise, the game was only $43 here at 401 Games in Toronto. So, for $43, I think there's good value here, component-wise. Rules could have been a little better written, perhaps, but you just have to watch a video and bang, Bob's your uncle. So you have a video now to go. So hopefully I helped you through the gameplay if you need a tutorial. I am a learner by doing, and I like watching people play and then learn how to play that way, as opposed to reading the rules and just understanding and comprehending what's going on. Doesn't mean I can't. I'm just a different type of learner. So I think more and more in the future, I hope designers address this, because there's nothing worse than not taking into the factor that people learn different ways. So while Texas don't work with me, there are good examples in this book and the rules, and I was able to refer to them very quickly with the index once I got the basic play going in and understanding the game itself. The game was quick. I don't think it was more than 30 minutes. What do they say? I don't think what does it say? I don't know. I'll look it up. It's probably 30, 40 minutes, but it was certainly less than an hour. It sets up super quick. Tear down in 5 minutes, sets up in about 5 minutes. The hardest decision you have to make is, what are the 3 vampires, or what are your vampires you're going to play? I played with the suggested 3, so it was nice. The gameplay was fluid. I never felt like there was something I couldn't do. You only get 2 AP, so you can move and fight, whatever you want to do. It limits. So and I started getting some good relics. I think you need to get relics early on. I did, but wasn't able to take effect. That golem, if I could have dropped that golem in one of the spaces, I should have moved and moved the golem. That would have been the smart move there. I didn't think about it, but now that I think about it, I had that golem. All I had to do is move. I think Agnesia had it, or Mila had it. Go into that district where there were 4 and just drop him. And he would have killed everybody in there. I would have gone down on the Vale, but I was concerned about being low on the Vale. And I couldn't even get to the city park because the city park had 4 mobs, and I couldn't raise it because you can spend an AP, a dice, to raise the level of your Vale. So I could have done that, but I couldn't get to it. So while the dice, I would say this is almost Euro-like. I mean, there is no random factor. You roll the dice, and after that, there is no random factors here. So there's a little bit of randomness, but it's controllable by what is out on the board and how you play the game. All in all, I would say if we were looking at it for value-wise, $42.99 or $43, go for it. If you like solo games, now, you know me, I don't like to really go, woohoo, you must buy this game. But if you're a solo gamer, I would say this gave me as much enjoyment as Warp's Edge, Fallen Skies, and any number of games. And I love locational games like this, like Maximum Apocalypse or Dungeons of Infinity. So I really like these types of crawler-type games. It's a crawler light. It's got a lot of hard choices. It is a fabulous game. I highly recommend it. Of course, always do your own research in case you don't believe me, but look at other videos. I think it was well received. This could open up for amazing more expansions if you can expand the locations, expand the number of vampires, expand the relics, maybe different types of agents. It would be marvelous. Like add vampire hunters who are more stronger than maybe agents. Something along that lines. Anyway, my name is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer. You can see the Canadian flag right up here. I live in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. I am glad you joined me today. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button. Subscribe. I would love to have you in our communities as a patron, or at least a subscriber, because I don't have Patreon. But at least a subscriber, and get notified. I do a regular show on Tuesdays, Coffee and Kickstarters for North of 60 Gaming. This will be going up on both North of 60 Gaming and Everything Board Games. My friend Lake Leafley, who is a good friend, we've been putting up a lot of cross stuff between the two boards, and so there's some synergizing there. So please join Everything Board Games. I hang around on Everything Board Games. I hang around on Board Game Revolution. I hang around on Board Game for Ones. I hang around on solo games and solo gamers. So please say hi. Send me a message and say, hey, I'd really like to see this again. Or maybe you want to see my top 5 solo. Or maybe you want to see something in my collection. Or ask me a question. Any of that is possible. So, this is Harry. I am signing off for today. We will see you next time. And the next time for me will be Rocks in Our Space.